What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Summer House Martha's Vineyard. This is season 1, episode 8. So let's get into it. Right, so the episode opens up and we see the group taking a tour of the different architecture and the historical buildings on Martha's Vineyard. And I thought it was cool to get more of the history of Martha's Vineyard because I've never been to Martha's Vineyard. I know of and heard of Martha's Vineyard, and I know a little bit of the history and why it's an important part of Black history. Our Black American history. So I'm just kind of like, oh, so it was nice to hear her talk about who owned different homes and about why people came to Martha's Vineyard, being like that was one of the only places at that time that allowed Black people to actually own property. And I thought it was really great to hear that people still own these homes, like these homes that they built over 100 years ago. People still own them in their families. And it's crazy when you think about like people existing 100 years ago. Because I know in my family, we have pictures of my great, I think that's 3 greats, grandparents. Like one of my cousins did a massive family tree and they were able to find pictures. And it was like, I looked at those pictures and at first it just didn't feel real. But then when you think about it, it's like, well, it has to be real or I wouldn't be here. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it. But I thought learning about the history was actually like really cool. We then find out that the end of the season party is going to be hosted by Nick and Alex, the Kappas, and they having like a black tie affair. And of course, that's the energy that the Kappas are on. Of course, that's the energy that they are on. They also had people fly in who are like artists to perform at the party. And honestly, I thought that was like a cool idea to have everyone, because that's what Alex has been talking about, being a creative and all of that stuff. And some of the music that we heard was actually like really nice. I wish they would have gave the people performing like title cards, but like the vibe was vibing. I was like, okay, this is cute. This is nice. This is real nice. You know, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So, we have a scene of where Alex is on the stage and he's about to sing a song. His brother is here playing the piano and stuff. And then we finally meet Tasia, who is Nick's girlfriend. And she's adorable. She is so cute. And if she comes back, or Nick comes back, because I think this show should get a season 2. I want to see if she would be interested in being a part of the show because I liked her energy when she was talking to Bria. I really did. But they were cute together. And so he was excited to see her, hugging up on her. We find out that she was in Africa on like a girls retreat with her friends, and that she took like a 20-hour flight from Africa back to the States, and then took a flight from New York to Martha's Vineyard. So he was just ecstatic to like see her. We then so while everyone is like, oh my God, that's her, you got the cast chitter chattering. Everybody's like, girl, she real. And so you see Summer, Jordan, and Silas sitting on a couch, and Jordan is like, oh, there she goes. In her confessional, Jordan's like, all I have in my head is Aaliyah, if she only knew, or girl, if you only knew. And I'm like, Jordan, shut up. Because you curved him, so you don't want him. So what is the need to like tell her? On top of that, I feel like Bria and Jordan really didn't have a dog in this fight to be like, oh, your man was in my DMs, if he was just sending emojis. Now, what's her name? Shanice, rainbows and poison. For me, I would say she would have more of a reason to speak to Tasia because that man tried to propose to her. I feel like she has definitely more to be like, girl, he was in the DMs now. I feel like she should be the one to say something. But if she doesn't say something, then what was the point of like Bria sitting down with Tasia? But everyone is like excited to see her. Nick is definitely excited. And, the night continues. So then things kind of like dwindle down, and most of the party guests that came, they like leave. So there's like hanger-ons and people that know the cast and stuff, but it's like now we're getting down to like the cast. So it seems like most people are gone, and we see Tasia and Bree sitting down on the couch that's in the area next to the kitchen. And so Bria with Milo is like walking around, and the way she was dragging Milo around, I was like, girl, put him in the room. put him in his room and put him in his cage, because she was yanking him around. And I'm like, okay, if you gonna get drunk, I don't think you should be around your animals like that. Like, if you're even around your kids, like, if you're going to be drunk, like, be drunk around adults, not around animals and children, especially not an animal that you had the leash on and you was yanking him like it was nothing. So like I said, Bria and Tasia are sitting in that seating area that's off the side of the kitchen. And so they get to talking. Bria's asking her, how was your trip in Africa? And she said it was very fun. It was like a very healing trip. And she was like, well, Tasia's like, well, how was your, how was this experience? She's like, girl, I need rehab. It was like rehab. And like Bria has a wine glass in her hand. And Tasia went to grab it away from her. Like, girl, what you mean rehab? But then Bria cleaned it up and was like, oh, like I've learned so much about myself. How, I got to let things go and not be reactive. I said, have you learned a lot about yourself? Because it don't look like it, sis. Because the way you talk to people is horrible. And I saw people trying to compare Bria to Candace from RHOP. Candace, we ain't never seen Candace pop off on people unless they popped off on her first. And Candace ain't never just outright been cussing Chris out unless they had like an argument. The way Bria was talking to Simon, and when we get there, Simon better than me because I'd have cussed Bria out. So they're sitting down in that seating area. Milo's sitting over there looking like, girl, what you about to do? Because I know you messy. Dogs be knowing they owners. I know Milo be judging Bria like it ain't nothing. So Tasia is like sitting there and she was like, well, we didn't know. Bria's like, girl, we didn't know about you until 2 weeks into the trip. And she's like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, girl, he told us like 9 days into the trip that like, and we was kind of shocked, we were shocked because, he was sliding up into everybody's DMs. And so they showcased Shanice's DMs. And like I said, I think Shanice should have been the one to say something because it seemed like Nick had more to say to Shanice compared to Bria and what's her name and Jordan. When it came to Jordan, he was just sending like emojis, like heart eye emojis and fire emojis. But when they showed Shanice's DMs, it seemed like he was really trying to strike up like a conversation or something like that. And so Tasia's like, oh, okay. And she was just like, Nick is very open with me. I'm very open with him. Like nothing you really is saying is shaking me. I'm pretty much solidified in my relationship. And Nick is hovering around because he's like, Bria's messy and my girl didn't come here for mess. She came here to be with me. And I'm like, but you messy, Nick. As much as I like you, you's a mess. You's messy. You is messy, bro. So Jason comes into the kitchen when Nick is in there, and Jason's like, Nick, can you help me with this? And he's like, yeah, I got you. But I really like Tasia's energy that she didn't give Bria the satisfaction of what she was telling her. Because my thing is like, even if Tasia was mad at Nick, it seemed like she was gonna hold it for Nick. Because Bria's in her confessional talking about, well, if it was me and if someone told me that Simon was in somebody's DM, I would want them to tell me. Would you? And would you even be as calm of a response? Because girl, you be erratic. You are erratic. So I don't know about that. I do not know about that. So Jasmine and Silas, and I'm going to just get them out the way. I'm going to do all their scenes together. So Jasmine pretty much is exhausted. We see her having a conversation with Silas off of the side of the pool by themselves. They're both talking. And the conversation in summary is basically Jasmine is exhausted. She's like, it shouldn't be all of this. Like, you always trying to tell me what I'm doing wrong. And Silas's whole thing is like, I don't know why you exhausted because this is what marriage is and you need to give me more. And he's still upset about them stupid khaki pants. And my thing is, what Silas wants, if you want that in a wife, you should have picked somebody who was going to agree to those terms and conditions. But you didn't pick someone that was going to agree to that. You picked Jasmine. And for me, my mindset nowadays is because I am interested in possibly getting married. I don't know anytime soon, but I am interested in it. But I've always been of the mindset of like the whole traditional wife or the traditional marriage. It's not sustainable anymore in the world that we live in now. The whole like your wife is supposed to cook, clean, rear the children, supply your sexual needs, be a size 3, and always be smiling and always be your peace. And then the man is supposed to be out there in the mean streets of the world fighting for his life and protecting the family and bringing back home a whole stack of money to take care of the whole household. We're in like a recession. It's inflation. A lot of people can't even get by with a 2-income household. So what I look like solely depending on one person to do all of that. As well as if I pop out babies, them your kids too. So you're going to help. This is 50-50. It took 50-50 for us to make it. You gonna 50-50 your ass and raise them kids too. And the whole cooking and cleaning, I don't understand how some women will marry men who all of a sudden just stop knowing how to do things. It's the weaponizing incompetence. And you stupid broads be out there just letting them get away with it. Because ain't no way I'm marrying someone who can't cook for themselves. I'm not marrying someone who can't wash clothes or keep a house clean, because those are basic skills that you learned like when you were like in elementary school. My parents were teaching us how to do laundry in elementary school. Like, we learned how to cook. We weren't like you really using the stove yet, but we were learning how to make certain meals that like we could feed ourselves when we were at home by ourselves. Or like, cleaning the house. Like, that stuff, that doesn't make sense to me, that the moment some men get married, all of a sudden it's like a switch in your brain goes off where it's like, I don't know what to do anymore. And I couldn't be with someone that stupid. I can't. I don't know. Like, the stories of women talking about how their husbands don't know their children's have allergies, almost about to kill their kids because you're about to feed the baby strawberries and the baby about to go into anaphylaxis, but you don't know. And the child is like 8 years old and you don't know that. And it's women in the comments like, oh yeah, that's normal. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. No, I don't know what type of men y'all been around, because the dudes I know be taking care of their kids. I've been blessed to see men doing what they supposed to do. But I don't know, that don't make sense to me. So they're talking, and then the group sees that the conversation is getting heated, so they run over there. So then we have a scene of like Jasmine and Silas in the bedroom, and we know that this is the last night that they're in Martha's Vineyard. So they get into it. He wants to continue to talk about the pants situation, like really drive it home that he's really frustrated with her, because Silas feels like Jasmine doesn't understand why he's mad. No, she understands why you're mad. She just don't care because it's stupid. And I wouldn't care either. So she's in the bed and she's like, I don't really give a shit. I don't want to talk about it. He's like, oh, wow, you're going to talk to your husband like that? You're going to talk to your husband like that? And I was glad she said, yeah, I am. He was like, because she gets up out of the bed. And he was like, no, you just really disrespected me. Like, why would you talk to your husband like that? And she was like, I did, Ann. Yeah, it'd have been Ann. And what you gonna do about it? Is you about to raise up? Because let's be clear, sir. You raise up, you gonna get knocked all the way down and then some. Know where you at. And know who to play with. So he gets mad. She's in the bathroom. Like, she goes in the bathroom. He runs in the bathroom and he's like, you're about to jeopardize everything. Your life can totally change. But trying to threaten her with divorce. And the issue is, Silas is holding over the fact that when he met Jasmine, she was homeless, living in a car. So he met her at probably her lowest point in her life, and he thinks that by some way he like saved her, and maybe he did save her. But you don't marry people who hold helping you out or saving you, in air quotes, over you. And the fact that he's using that to throw it in her face, and the way he ran up on her, I'd have right in his Adam's apple. Hit him in the throat, make you choke, ka-cha. Because he walked up real quick on her, and I was like, Silas, chill out. Chill all the way out. And they kept going at it, and it was crazy that like all the castmates could hear them having sex, but nobody heard them arguing. Or maybe they heard them arguing but did not care. But Jasmine talks about they gonna need therapy when they get home. I think people said online that they both are in therapy, and they need it. If she wants to stay with him and he wants to stay with Jasmine, he genuinely needs to reevaluate how he moves. Because to me, Silas moves with trauma, in the sense of growing up in an internment, is it an internment? No, a refugee camp. A refugee camp, coming here with the whole like, I gotta be this, I gotta be this, I gotta be this. And then you join the military that also instills a certain type of behavior in men that like, I don't know if he gonna win, bro. I don't know if he gonna win. He gonna have to get it together. Jasmine need to have an exit plan. If I was her, I'd be stacking money to the side and moving on, because you're not going to be yelling at me because you done lost your mind. So, Bria versus Simon versus Summer. I can't believe all of this started over Milo, the star of the show. But basically, Bria's drunk, or like on the verge of being drunk. She's like severely tipsy, and she is mad at Simon because she told Simon to watch Milo, and Simon's like, no, like that's like, I don't want to do that. And I don't blame him, because it looked like Simon was really having a good time at the party, eating and drinking and having conversations with different people. So he was like, I don't want to watch this dog. That's your dog. And I don't understand for the life of me why Bria couldn't just put Milo in his room like they've done all the time. Put him in his room, not in his room, but in y'all's room, and make sure he has food and access to water. And you enjoy your night. But the fact that she was dragging Milo around like he was a stuffed animal, I was like, you're causing an issue where there is no issue. So she sees Simon in the kitchen. She tells Simon, we need to talk outside. She tells Simon, you bugging. You need to chill out. You need to stop showing out and acting crazy. Like, and Simon's whole thing is like, don't yell at me. You're being disrespectful. I have no problem watching Milo if you would have asked me, but you didn't ask me. You told me. And I'm not going to be told nothing. And I don't blame him for that. You're not going to tell me what to do. Like, you're not going to tell me what to do. That's not my dog. That's your dog. That's your emotional support animal, girl. You take care of it. So Summer comes outside to like mediate this conversation, which in my opinion, she shouldn't have done. Like, I don't normally get in domestic disputes unless it get, if it get physical, then, you're supposed to like react and separate. But if it's just them arguing back and forth, I'm not jumping into that. Like, this is their relationship. People have arguments and disagreements in their relationship. And it didn't even seem, there was no need for Summer to be there, because you could tell that both Simon and Bria were drunk. So it was kind of like, I'm not about to sit here and try to mediate a conversation between two drunk people. That's just not my ministry. That's not my monkey. That's not my show. So, Bria's mad at Summer because she's like, why are you on his side, girl? Like, you're supposed to be on my side. Because I guess Bria and Summer did kind of have like a relationship, a semi-relationship before coming into the house. So she gets mad at Simon. She walks in the house. Bria always want to kick somebody out because now she's like, Simon needs to go. He's being disrespectful. Bria would have probably been great for Bad Girls Club because she always ready to kick somebody out the house. And that was one of the main things they did in Bad Girls Club. They was always ready to kick a girl out, throw her bed in the pool, and mess up her stuff. And so she's like, Simon gotta go. And I'm like, Bria, where he gonna go? Go home with you? Because y'all leaving in the morning. It's the last day. So she goes upstairs. Jordan follows her. I told y'all I haven't seen it for Jordan since she had that argument with Phil. And I think that was like episode 3 or 2. Because Jordan gives me slick, self-absorbed mean girl. Like, there's a tinge of that with Jordan, because the way she was in that room, it was so easy for her and Bria to like slide into talking shit about Summer, being like, isn't she supposed to be your friend? Like, why is she down there with him? And I'm like, girl, because your friend is irrational and erratic, and I'm not about to sit here and it's easier for me to have a conversation with Simon than it is for Summer to have a conversation with Bria. So Simon walks back up into the house, goes to the room, and Bria's like on the phone, and Simon's like, you're being disrespectful. And she's like, I'm on the phone, Simon. And Simon's like, I was like, girl, the way I would have told Bria, you know what, when we get back to Germany, get your dog, get your stuff, and find a new place to stay, because I'm tired of you, because you're not going to keep talking to me like this. Either apologize and we can move on, but you're not going to be talking to me like, you just not. Like, I don't know how he puts up with that, because there's no way anybody the way I don't get how Jasmine put up with the way Silas speaks to her. I don't know how Simon puts up with the way Bria speaks to him, because I know it don't go down like that. So this is where Summer messed up. Although I don't like Bria told Summer, do not come in my room. And if someone tells you do not enter their space, you should not enter their space. So Summer walks in there anyway after Bria's like on the phone with her mom. And you can tell her mom knows that this is Bria's personality because she is not even like fazed by the way Bria is acting and screaming and yelling. So Bria and Summer start to get into it. Bria's like, I told you to get out. They're going back and forth. And then Summer pushes Bria. So Bria grabs her arm and they get to like shoving each other back and forth. You see one of the producer comes in and like grabs Summer from behind to push her out. Bria trying to get at Summer. I'm like, girl, Summer will probably walk you. So I don't even, because Bria slipped. And I'm like, girl. But then again, Bria was slightly intoxicated. So maybe that part. So Summer goes downstairs. Bria starts crying about how that's the second time somebody put their hands on her. I don't really count Mariah because Mariah just put clothes in her chest. Summer like shoved her. So Bria's like, it's not okay. It's not okay. It isn't okay for anybody to put their hands on anyone, especially if it's not like it don't need to get there. But it's like, Bria is so insufferable that it's like you can't feel bad for her. Like, I definitely think what Summer did was wrong because you shouldn't have put your hands on her. But do I feel bad for Bria? No. like I can call it out and be like, it was wrong, but do I feel bad for you? No, because your attitude is disgusting. Like, girl, like your attitude is atrocious, man. So she on the bed crying. Jordan's trying to tell her, this is not how we are. You're better than this. And I'm like, Jordan, shut up. So then you see Alex and Summer in some like in the pool house, and Alex is like, she the common denominator of every fight. And she really is. So we end up seeing like Simon ended up sleeping downstairs on the couch, and it's the next day. So it's the next day we see Simon and Bria talking. She didn't even apologize to him. She was just like, how can we move on? And that's Simon's fault, because if you don't tell someone like, I don't like the way you did me and we not gonna move on until you can acknowledge what you did, then y'all are never gonna have growth. Like Bria does not know how to take accountability because she was really disrespectful to him. Like mad disrespectful. And there was no need for her to be that nasty towards Simon just because you wanted him to watch your dog. So they have that conversation and they move forward because Bria's like, let's just move forward. And he's like, okay. And then Summer and Bria have a conversation and it was the same thing. Summer apologizes for putting her hands on Bria, and Bria just kind of like, okay, we can move forward. And it's just kind of like, well, you should also acknowledge that the way you was coming at people, Bria, was disrespectful. And I'm not saying she deserved for anybody to put hands on her. Like, again, I'm saying like Summer was wrong for shoving her because Bria told her, don't come into my room. Like, once someone tells you don't enter my space, you should not do that. But it's just like Bria is just so insufferable that it's kind of like, you know it's wrong, but you like, girl, whatever. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't be like that because Summer was definitely wrong. But girl, I could not be friends with Bria. I mean, like I said, great for TV, but girl, in real life could not be me. So that was the season finale, y'all. And I really do hope Summer House Martha's Vineyard gets a season 2 because I think it deserves a season 2. For 8 episodes, I won't say I was heavily invested, but I was interested in watching each episode. So I really hope they do get a second season. I want everybody to come back, even Mariah. They might be able to add Phil if Phil is sober, because I feel like Phil would give us good TV the same way Bria gives us good TV. We just would be annoyed by them. But I do think everybody should come back. I'm interested in seeing the progression of the cast throughout like the different seasons. The same way we get it with the original Summer House and with Winter House. I want these people to have the opportunity to grow their businesses and get their visibility so they have opportunities. So I hope they come back. I think it was a good first season for a new show, especially with new shows not doing well. But I liked it. I really did. So I hope everyone gets the opportunity to come back. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and hop down in them comments below. Deuces.